You've been demanding action. Now lawmakers in Albany say that they have heard you.
The State Assembly and Senate say they have approved a bill reforming pensions. Lawmakers voted and passed legislation that will change the state's constitution. It will strip pensions from any public official convicted of a felony related to their official duties. And what happens next is up to you. That bill will be on the ballot in November for you to vote on.
Lawmakers say they will also pass legislation cracking down on outside income within the legislature. The governor has talked about his plans for free college, upstate ride sharing, and lowering property taxes. But his new budget also includes millions of dollars in new taxes and fees that we all have to pay for.
In tonight's New York State Exposed report, investigative reporter Jennifer Lukey digs into some of those to show you what you can expect.
Well, Brett, Jen, the budget is thousands and thousands of pages long, and while a lot is made of some of the bigger proposals, a lot is buried in the fine print. Like a lot of folks, Diane St. John and her husband walked out of the DMV frustrated by their final bill.
People tend to look at it like, well, we only do it once every 3 or 4 years and get it, you know, so it's like no big deal, except it'll be a big deal.
Especially if the governor gets his way. His new state budget calls for an increase in a number of DMV fees, particularly titling charges. And that's not all.
It is difficult to go through all at once, but when you look into it, there are hundreds of millions of dollars in whatever you want to call them, extensions, fees, surcharges, that hit on everything from property titles to driver's licenses to cell phone plans.
There will be a bigger effort to collect taxes on all internet sales. A 5.5% surcharge will be tacked on to Uber and Lyft rides if ride sharing is approved. Students will pay a $250 per year tuition increase at SUNY schools. There's also a new tax on vapor and e-cigarettes and an increased tax on cigars. That's just to name a few. All of this despite the fact the governor said this just last week.
We are all inherently cheap. I'm cheap, right? We shop, we clip coupons, we look for bargains, right? Be that way with taxpayers' money. And that's the mentality that we have in Albany now.
Compared to some years, yes, but to say this budget has no new taxes or fees would not be accurate.
It's always easy to ask for more money, and require and depend upon more spending, but it prevents difficult choices.
And for every difficult choice lawmakers don't make, families may have to.
Whenever anything goes up, we take a hit on something else.
The governor says don't worry, most of the money we'll need to fund new and increased spending will come from those who make more than $1 million a year. But those folks aren't happy about having to foot the bill either. Coming up new tonight at 11, I'll take a closer look at the millionaire's tax and whether it will truly prevent middle classers from having to pay more. Live in studio tonight, Jennifer Lukey, News 10 NBC.
Jennifer, thank you.